Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Artur Beterbiev and his up-and-coming bout against Joe Smith Jr. This is a fight breakdown only for Artur Beterbiev. I will be doing a fight breakdown for Joe Smith Jr., so that will be coming soon, so please be on the lookout for that. Really quick, if you like the channel, how do you support it? Well, you can like, you can share, and you can also subscribe. Tell a friend, tell an uncle, tell a dad, tell a mom, tell a sister, tell somebody. Let them know about fighting words. Let them know about content that's coming that is fair, that is unbiased, that is truly breaking things down and not just saying who you like more, but truly breaking things down. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. Now, the first thing that we notice when we look at Artur Beterbiev, we see power. We see unrelenting, excruciating, bone-breaking power. We see a dude who is exuding confidence, and he looks darn near through his opponents, and he's going to fight as if he's punching through his opponents. The dude is just strong, and typically everybody always says the same thing about him, just the power, the power, the power. You know, one guy said it was like getting hit by a car. That's a lot of power for one man to wield, and he wields it in such a humble way. So although he is a very powerful guy, one thing you'll have to notice about Artur Beterbiev, because you have to understand this is skill. This is skill at play. He's not rushing to get anything done. He's taking his time. He's very paced. He's taking his time. There was once a commentator who mentioned Bernard Hopkins, and he said, you know, Bernard Hopkins isn't going to knock anybody out. He's not that type of fighter. But what he is unrelenting. What he is just somebody who's going to bruise and batter and beat you up. From the start of the first round in the bell to the last round, the last bell. That's what's going to happen. And every bone in your body is going to ache the next day. Artur Beterbiev is that. Only he knocks people out. So he's that and more. Every bone in your body is going to hurt. He's punching you. He's just battering you all over the place. And, you know, honestly, guys, just succumb to it. I mean, what else can you do? You can't get away from the guy. You can't move fast enough from the guy. You don't know what he's throwing next. The punches are coming from every angle, and it's just unrelenting. It is literally unrelenting. It's like a thunderstorm coming down on you, and you got caught without your umbrella. You know, it's literally just an unrelenting force that's attacking you, and that's the only way that I can truly describe it. But he is a very patient fighter. He understands setting things up. He understands, listen, he's one of the fighters who truly gets this thing of, I got 12 rounds to work. I got more than enough space to operate in. You know, I got 3 minutes and 12 rounds. I got more than enough space to operate in. So although he is very strong and he is very powerful and he's a knockout artist, that doesn't mean he's going to rush in there and you know, just throw caution to the wind and say, well, I hit hard and I'm going to just go in there and knock him out in the first round. I'm going to go home early. No, he understands this is boxing. He understands you need to have an IQ, and he understands you have to set things up. Yes, he does have the power to lay guys out, but more importantly, he has the intelligence to set these guys up to be laid out. More importantly. Next, I would say one of the things I really like about him is balance. He's a very balanced fighter. He's never off balance. He's always in position to throw another punch. He's always in position to reposition. He's always in position to spin off or to step off to an angle. He's always in position. He's always in position. Now, one of the reasons why he's always in position is because outside of jabs, he doesn't throw long punches. He really doesn't throw long punches. All his punches are just short, compact, tight punches. Yet, that's a testimony to how strong he is again, because he's getting power on those short punches. But what he does is he dips low. So now it's just a base thing. So if I just dip low and I throw everything into it, well, then there's a difference. But also, instead of just throwing like this straight, he comes down. He comes down. And now it's like a hammer. So he's generating even more power just doing that. You know, like, one of the things that Artur does extremely well is he controls a fight. He's always in control. He's always in demand of the fight. He's always the one pushing the pace. He's always the one dictating where this fight is going to go. He's always dictating the pace. He's always dictating the real estate. And he never loses sight of that. And that's another reason why he can get guys out, because he knows where it's best for him to get the guy out. Yeah, we might start over here, but we could end over there. And if I can put you over here, there might be, just positioning wise, it's better to sink my teeth in deep over here as opposed to over here. So, and that could be for a lot of reasons. And I just could be, because I'm better on my left side, or I'm faster with my left hand. Or you're not so great on your left side. You're not so great stepping off to your left, whatever the case may be. But he understands the ring. When I say pressure, this dude is nonstop. I mean, he's like a fight with somebody who has like a chain, and the chain just keeps coming and coming and coming. That's what he is. He just keeps coming. He just keeps coming. And because he's paced, and because of those short punches, he's not overexerting himself. He's not tiring himself out. Another thing is just his gas tank. He has a great gas tank. Why? Because of the things that I just mentioned. He has a great gas tank. He's not overextending himself. Yes, he's punching hard, but to be honest with you, a lot of that is natural. It's not like he's somebody who's trying to punch hard. He just punches hard. That's the difference. He just punches hard. So, for example, his, 50% punch is going to be the equivalent of another guy's 80, 90, 100% punch. He just punches hard. So he knows when to turn it up. And I've mentioned this before in other videos. He knows when to turn it up, and he knows when to, take a little off of it. There's no sense in going at a guy and just wailing on him and throwing 150% into a punch, and you haven't set anything up, and you haven't made any type of contact. You haven't clipped his chin yet. You haven't done anything. He's not wobbling. He's not backing up in agony and any type of pain, and yet you're already throwing these huge shots, and that could be, a hindrance to you and a detriment to you later on. Why? Because you could be fatigued. Also, you could be off balance, and he can clip you back. That's another thing. So, but he's not that. He's a very controlled, very paced, very, very in control fighter. He's control of it. He's in control of himself, and he's in control of his competitor. And certain things, people, you just can't teach. You just can't teach, because that forces him to be in a certain line of fire. When you're in control of a fight, you can't be passive and be in control of a fight. You can fight from a distance like a Roy Jones, but that doesn't mean that he was passive. I think it's a skill in itself to control a fight, and not everybody can do it. That's why you'll see one guy, he won round 1, and then this guy run round 2, 3, and 4, and then he came back at 5 and 6, and they both kind of won round 7, and they're not really controlling a fight. Artur Beterbiev literally will control a fight from start to finish. And again, that's another reason why he does remind me a lot of Bernard Hopkins. He also reminds me of Rocky Marciano. Now, I think he's a much better fighter than Rocky Marciano. And that's not to say any, shade on Rocky Marciano. I'm just saying that we do evolve over time. So, when he was fighting, yeah, he was the man. But today, guys today would run through a guy like that. But it goes back to the battering that I mentioned earlier. Like Rocky Marciano, he'd punch you everywhere. He'd punch you in your hip. He'd punch you in the shoulder. He'd punch you in the chest. Listen, if you present a target, it's a target. That's exactly what it is. And Artur Beterbiev is the same way. He's not some guy who just says, oh, I only shoot headshots. I only punch for the chin. I only punch at the head. No, I'm punching at the body. I'm punching at the chest. I'm punching at your arm. You saw in Canelo Alvarez's last fight with Bivol. You looked at Bivol's arm after the fight. I mean, it's just, I get it, but at the same time, you can't put so much real estate into that arm. And that's the thing about Artur Beterbiev. He doesn't put all that real estate in there. Everything has its proper proportion. Yeah, listen, if you present your chin, I'm going to clip it. If you present your chest, I'm going to put a hole through it. Whatever you present, I'm going to hit it hard, repeatedly, okay? Until your guard opens up, and then I'm going back at your chin. and I'm going back at your head. I'm gonna try to knock your head off the swivel. That's literally what he's doing. I can't say enough good things about him, to be honest with you. I think he has solid footwork. I don't think he has the best footwork. I think a lot of the guys, like Eastern European guys, they don't have the best footwork, but they do the basic things so extremely well that they don't necessarily need great footwork, to be honest with you. They're so great at the basics. They're so great at the basics. And then on top of that, they're tough. So you have like a tough dude who does the basic stuff almost perfectly. And then you throw on top of that, this dude can punch. He's just going to be hard to beat, okay? Like, he's just going to be hard to beat. You know, to be totally honest, guys like this typically don't get beat by guys like Joe Smith Jr. They don't. They get beat by guys like Roy Jones. You know, they get beat by guys like that. Floyd Mayweather. They get beat by guys like that. Guys who are very crafty. Guys who are very like wizard-like in the ring. Guys who are very, very fast. Guys who are great at counterpunching. Guys who move really well, who can spring around the ring. Guys like that. Joe Smith's got a lot on his hands. He really does. He has a lot on his hands. And Joe Smith, if you ever listen to him, he's always talking about his power. And he does have a lot of power. But this is not the fight to be banking on your power. But at the same time, this is definitely the fight to be banking on your power. Why? Because on paper, and when you just look at Artur Beterbiev, he does everything well. And when you have a guy like that who does everything well, and then you have an opponent like Joe Smith Jr., and I'm just speaking honestly, it's like, you know what? Maybe the best thing for you to do, Joe, is just kind of go for broke. Go in there and let it all hang out, and just get it cracking from round one and see where it takes you. Maybe you can clip him. Like, that's all I can say right there. Maybe you can clip him. But at the same time, Artur Beterbiev, he's very strong mentally. When he was in his fight with Marcus Brown, he got the cut, a very vicious bad cut on his forehead. And they're going to stop the fight. Did he look rattled? Absolutely not. Was he scared? Absolutely not. Did he turn up the volume? Absolutely. That's exactly what he did. He turned up the volume. So that's not the type of guy you break. That's the type of guy you don't want to see down the stretch. So maybe it is the best thing for Joe Smith Jr. to go for broke. Because the reality is, when he was cut and the fight was in jeopardy of being stopped due to just the amount of blood that was flowing from Artur Beterbiev's forehead, he went in there and he conducted business. But it wasn't as if when he got hit on his forehead and that gash that was leaking badly, he was wincing in pain or anything like that. The dude didn't feel the pain. The dude fought through the pain. The dude was just as controlled and paced and reserved and confident as he was prior to the cut. That's a cold man. That's a very dangerous man in the ring. That's a very, very dangerous man in the ring. And I gotta be honest, Joe Smith has a lot to deal with. He's gonna have a lot on his hands. Artur Beterbiev, like I said, what else can I say? You got a guy with power. You got a guy with an amazing, phenomenal foundation. You have a guy who throws combinations. You have a guy who likes to mix it up really well. You have a guy who's physically tough and durable. Then you have a guy who can just dish it out. You have a guy who is a thoroughbred and can go 12 rounds, no problem. Yeah. Joe Smith's got a lot on his hands. That was my fight breakdown for Artur Beterbiev. Drop your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you don't agree with me. And just quick note again, I will be doing a fight breakdown for Joe Smith Jr. for Artur Beterbiev. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.